Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Tuesday. It is press day here for the Sagersville Independent. If you're following along, that's usually a Wednesday thing, but in lieu of the Thanksgiving holiday, we had to go to press earlier, one day earlier, for both the Big Sandy News and the Sagersville Independent, both of which two of some of our largest publications to date. And I'll share with you what's in the Sagersville Independent in just a few moments. Definitely want to pick one up. Thinking some pretty good coupons for the shopping days ahead in there as well. We will cover tonight a couple of arrests of Magoffin County man who ran from state police not once but twice back in the summer, jailed last night. A Magoffin County man who was to stand trial for threatening to kill the public defender, which represented him in an attempted murder case some years ago, made a plea agreement with prosecutors earlier this week. We'll tell you about that, as well as his next parole eligibility date, and the Magoffin County Board of Education coverage. A couple of important topics that they discussed that we will pass along with you, and perhaps most importantly, or as important as anything else tonight, your latest Licking Valley RECC outlook, because we've got some winds and a wind advisory, all of which have been cranked up to some degree. So we'll share that with you in just a few moments. Of course, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then we've got showers after Thanksgiving, pretty much for the majority of your weekend on the backside of all that. So we'll get to all that and more in just a few moments. Just in case you're wanting to attend and go to the historical event, as it always is, when we, of course, swear in a new governor. Governor-elect Andy Beshear has announced tentative, well, we believe more than tentative, but plans for the inauguration celebrations that will be Tuesday, beginning Tuesday morning on the 10th day of December. He has asked that our teachers, as many as will be in attendance, will be leading the parade, which will begin at 10 o'clock that morning in Frankfort. Prior to that, the breakfast reception will be held at 7:30 that morning at the Thomas D. Clark Center for Kentucky History. A worship service will follow breakfast an hour later at 8:30. The parade once again at 10. They've got several musical entertainers performing at around 1 o'clock that afternoon. The actual swearing-in ceremony will take place, of course, on the Capitol steps at 2 o'clock. That is, once again, Tuesday, December the 10th, and there are at least, I believe, 2 planned balls for later on that evening. We're going to go ahead and go right to our first headline this evening because we do have a lot of information and not enough time, most often the case. A jury trial was set for this Monday here in the Magoffin County Justice Center. Colonel Lewis Boland, however, did make an Alford plea in his most recent felony case, for which he has now been sentenced to 3 years. He has served most of that time awaiting trial. However, he also saw, per that most recent set of charges, his probation revoked from the earlier charges, in which he was sentenced to 20 years and released after serving 7 for attempted murder of 6 individuals here in Magoffin County a few years ago. 53-year-old Boland was to be in court here in Magoffin County on Monday for charges stemming from a case last March. He pled guilty, however, with an Alford plea, which means he was proclaiming his innocence but agreed that there may be enough evidence to convict him, and was sentenced to 3 years for amended charges of burglary in the second degree, originally burglary in the first, and criminal trespass in the first degree and terroristic threatening in the third degree, with other charges of being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, criminal trespassing in the first degree, and being a persistent felony offender being dismissed. All those charges stem from threats that he made to kill his former public defender, Miles Holbrook, when he was arrested by the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department last year. Holbrook defended Boland in the attempted murder case that stemmed from a shooting back in February of 2011 at the J&J General Store, in which Boland severely injured 3 victims and shot in the direction of 3 other individuals. He was sentenced to 20 years and served 7, and then was granted parole, while the charges that he just pled to, as well as the other ones which were dismissed in this most recent case, revoked that parole, which now means that he will not be eligible for parole again until December of 2022. More news right after a few words. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, Get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Just in time for the winter driving season, and through December the 13th at Conley Tire, come in and get $70 off a set of new Michelins. Until the end of the year, $50 off winter and mud and snow Cooper tires, and up to $150 off select sets of Goodyears. And don't forget, 6 months same as cash. Stop by their Staffordsville store or go to conleytire.net to find out more.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
A McGoffin County man which eluded state police back in June on 2 separate occasions on 2 consecutive days had been sought after by authorities since, but was arrested last night at a Sagersville location and charged with fleeing and evading police in the first degree, both in the motor vehicle, which he initially fled, and then on foot, which he actually fled on 2 different occasions. Trooper Zach Haney with Post 9 says that back on June the 2nd, a man behind the wheel of a vehicle identified as Terry Neal Cheek, 37, of Sagersville, ran a stop sign at the intersection of 867 and 1635. When the officer turned and tried to pull that vehicle over with his lights and sirens, the driver fled for several miles and finally stopped the vehicle on Booger Hill near the Royalton area, and then jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot to the strip job, going over the hill with the trooper losing sight of him. The vehicle actually came back registered to the female passenger who was in the vehicle, who stayed behind and told the officer that she had pleaded on numerous occasions to get Cheek to stop the vehicle, but he just kept telling her to shut up and kept on trying to elude police. Then on the following day, Officer Haney notes that he went to an area where the defendant was known to possibly be, and while traveling on Route 7, saw Cheek again, this time traveling on a four-wheeler on the Dawkins Trail. And Cheek again fled, going into a hayfield, with the officer losing sight of him once again. However, he found him last night on East Maple Street in Sagersville, and Cheek was lodged on counts of fleeing and evading police in the first degree, both motor vehicle-wise and on foot, with all-terrain violations attached as well. Still much more to come in news right now. A lot happening on tonight's holiday-related announcements and schedules and things of that nature. But first, a happy birthday. Indeed, a lot happening, and most important of all, a very special birthday wish. 90th birthday wishes tonight, going out to Bessie. That's Bessie Wireman, with a lot of love and prayers from a lot of family and friends, especially from your daughter Sharon and husband Rob. Happy, and from all of us too, happy 90th birthday to Bessie Wireman. Happy birthday to you. Now, going on to the calendar, an update for you tonight. This little fella's still missing. He's a male. He's about 5, tan and black, with an orange reflective harness that he's actually wearing, last seen in the Bloomington area, and he answers to AJ. And there is a reward for AJ's return. If you have any information, seen anything that looks like AJ, call Jerry Sweeney at 349-5693. A reward, once again, being offered for AJ's return. They hope you can help. In other announcements, the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department wants to remind everyone they'll be closed Thanksgiving Day, but be open Friday from 8:30 until 7, and Saturday from 9 until noon for their holiday hours. Speaking of holiday hours, Rumpke will be covering their standard pickup route on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, but they will be running very, very early so their employees can get back and spend the holiday with their families. So they ask that everyone please put your garbage out Wednesday night. Rumpke's working Thanksgiving, but working early. And Helping Hands, the second annual event to help make sure all the residents at the Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation Center have a wonderful Christmas, is now underway with your donations of gifts or wrapping paper or volunteering time to collect those gifts or wrap them. Whatever goes along with it, you can help. Find Helping Hearts on Facebook or call 606-496-5966. Revival starts this Sunday, December the 1st, also, by the way, at 6 o'clock. And then Revival continues at the First Community Baptist Church on Route 40, Monday through the following Saturday, nightly at 7, with evangelist Todd Masters there and inviting you. Revival at the First Community Baptist Church. Now see this, literally. The Montgomery County Senior Citizen Center has received a significant donation of eyeglasses from the Christian Appalachian Project. So they're welcoming seniors to come by, go through them, see if there's any there you can use. With a reminder that the center is open from 7:30 till 3:30 daily, and that they serve lunch at 11:30. So come and see this with eyeglasses available right now at the Montgomery County Senior Citizen Center. And see your announcement, birthdays and anniversaries too, on our calendar any night of the week by simply telling me so I can tell everyone else about it. Going on to funeral announcements tonight, 82-year-old Mary Jo Branham of Springfield, Ohio, passed away this week. I'm told that funeral arrangements for Mary Jo are still incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon from the Sayersville Funeral Home. Stay warm and save huge right now on kerosene and gas heaters in stock at Parkway Gun and Pawn, and don't wait till they're gone, on a selection of nearly new snowblowers. And just for Black Friday, flat screen TVs starting as low as $40, and brand new 9mm and .380 pistols starting as low as $199 at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sayersville.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's Black Wednesday week for Appalachian Wireless. The biggest smartphone sale on the planet is coming this Wednesday. And you'll want to make plans to be there to save the most money possible on your new smartphone from Appalachian Wireless. Stay tuned to AppalachianWireless.com for all the details. Better service, bigger Black Wednesday savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
I know, I say it every year, but I promise you, never before has the seasonal shop been so wall-to-wall filled with Christmas. The absolute most unique Christmas decor and ornaments and gifts you've ever seen under one roof in the area. Ornaments and trees of all types and colors and kinds. Table decor, dishes, all the wreaths, all the flowers. And if you're looking for gifts, they've got just about everyone on your list covered. Plus, you have to see their selection of women's clothes and accessories. Gorgeous, with a wide variety of styles and sizes. So let them help you pick out the perfect outfit for any Christmas party or family get-together. And from now until Christmas, they have a new deal of the day every day. So be sure to follow them on their Facebook page for all the details at Frazier's Raider Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
So what are you planning for Thanksgiving? Welcome to my blog. Make sure to leave a comment. Black Friday sales are going to be huge this year. And
adults and their phones.
it's going to be a low-carb meal.
All right. Hand them over.
Appalachian Wireless always wants you to get the most out of your phones, but we also encourage you to set them down and enjoy time with your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends at Appalachian Wireless.
At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. Next, Magoffin County Board of Education coverage, a 2-hour meeting, or just about a 2-hour meeting that took place for their regular session of the month. Tonight we'll select 3 topics to speak of, that being school attendance rates and the measures to which the school system is having to go to try to get some students back in class, as well as telemedicine and how a local healthcare provider is trying to partner with Magoffin County Schools to see it implemented into our school buildings. But first, Artie White of White and Associates had praise for financial personnel within the Magoffin County School District during the audit presentation for Magoffin County Schools that contained no findings.
It's unmodified. That's the highest report you can get. So basically what we're saying, any reader of this financial statement, third party, the bonding company, and whomever can take this information, rely on it to make decisions on. So our opinion is unmodified. Did we find anything that we thought that your policies and procedures that you passed as a board were not being fulfilled by management? We didn't find anything that was significant enough to actually put in the financial statements or the federal programs, and that's what all these are listed here. And if we did, we would actually list those and have a corrective action plan in place. So we didn't find that. So it was actually a really, really good audit.
Next was Morgan County ARH CEO Jamie Locke there to present before the board his proposal on introducing telehealth or telemedicine into the Magoffin County school system, saying that ARH is interested in partnering with Magoffin County schools in a school-based series of health clinics, working alongside school nurses, having a cart or station at each school that would have video and audio connections to a healthcare provider elsewhere at ARH, with ARH providing everything but a small room to operate in and internet and phone access.
If I understood you correctly, Jamie, we're looking possibly to do it one and then gradually, and if I'm correct in talking with to the board, eventually our goal is to have a telehealth at each school.
That is correct. That is correct. You know, when you roll these things out like this, how do you do one and not do the other? Because you're basically saying one kid deserves more than the other. And that's not what we're about. So yeah, I mean, definitely we'd be looking at eventually getting to that point. And to be honest with you, you know, we looked at a 6-month program. Every 6 months we'd roll one out. Once you get the first couple down, I got a feeling 3, 4, and 5 would roll right in there pretty easy.
The board said they would take Locke's presentation into consideration and get back with him at a later date. And they then went on to discuss attendance rates. Director of Pupil Personnel Terry Watson says that school-wide attendance is down about a percentage point from last year right now, district-wide at 92.45%. With Watson saying that they just recently met with a large number of students and parents to try to see what the school system will have to do to get those kids back in school.
Last Friday, Judge Prater, Alicia Carty, and Lindsay Collin and I met with, we had a group of about 75 students and parents. They did not all show, but the ones that were there, we met with about a program called Pre-Complaint Truancy Diversion. All of those students were students that had missed at least 3 days. Once they get to 6 days, they go into truancy diversion program. Miss Carty will be meeting with them about 8 or 10 times over a period of time, trying to work on that those truancy issues. Unfortunately, I've had to file what's known as a FAIR 4 on some students already that are totally non-compliant. They are not cooperating with any request to get themselves in school. One of them will be 18 and will go directly before the judge.
Watson says that those measures are the ones that the school district is left with after numerous requests and pleas and talking to students and parents have just not worked. Next, it is quite a bit about your weather because it's going to be a gusty day tomorrow. We have a wind advisory in effect. We've got a pretty good timeline for you from the National Weather Service, and we've got a pretty good chance at seeing a lot of things blown about tomorrow. And most importantly, that of course includes trees, limbs, and what they can do to power lines as well. Here is the latest as for the wind advisory that has been placed in effect from 6 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, the earlier wind advisory was not quite that broad. This is much earlier and a little bit later, and this means that gusty winds could blow just about anything that's not bolted or nailed down. Look at the estimates. Yesterday we were sitting around 40, 41. Today that's closer to 45, 46, 47 mile per hour gusts at times, and a few folks might see those close to 50 miles per hour. A wind advisory in effect starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Wind gusts will increase after 4 o'clock in the a.m., but the advisory kicks in at 6. And 45 miles an hour right now is a good estimate for gusts to be expected. The peak between 9 and 4 on your Wednesday, and once again, those winds tapering off by Wednesday evening. The advisory expiring around 7 does not necessarily mean that the winds are going to expire, just to the degree that the advisory, they believe, will no longer need to be in place. That means any Christmas lights that you may have gotten out a bit early are subject to not be around any longer. And of course, more seriously, trees, power lines, and all of those things that can become very dangerous situations very quickly should all be observed very closely tomorrow. It's going to be a blustery one for your Wednesday. For the rest of your forecast, we do have showers tonight. Right now, they look to be coming in after midnight with a low of 48. Winds starting to pick up around the same time, gusts of upwards of 20, 25 miles per hour, and that will increase, as we said, throughout the early morning tomorrow, with showers likely to end around 11 or noon tomorrow, with the skies gradually becoming sunny by around noon. Temperatures are going to peak at around 61 by about 11 o'clock in the morning. Then they're going to fall the rest of the day down to around 52. But the winds aren't going anywhere. Once again, 13 to 20 to 46 mile per hour gusts expected throughout the course of your Wednesday. Rainfall amounts pretty much insignificant right now. 1/10 of an inch, maybe on top of maybe 1/4 of an inch tonight. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, a low of 32. Winds still out of the west, still 5 to 15 to 32 miles per hour. Thanksgiving Day, the winds should become calm and leave us much cooler and sunny, but calm being the key word. Mostly sunny Thanksgiving Day, 45 for your high, mostly cloudy that night with a low of 32. Those clouds not making anything but clouds. Friday, partly sunny and 47, but by Friday night, really technically about 5 o'clock in the a.m. on Saturday morning, our next round of showers roll in and look to roll right through your Saturday, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, into your Sunday, Sunday night, and by the time Sunday rolls around, Sunday night, those could change over to some snow showers with about a 60% chance of rain and snow Sunday night, and another chance of some rain and snow on Monday as well. Temperatures at the first of next week in the upper 30s on Monday, low 40s on Tuesday. Now, before I say goodnight, let me say this. The Sagersville Independent coming out a day early, coming out tomorrow in lieu of the Thanksgiving holiday. And it would take me the entire show, which is right now over, to try to tell you what all is in tomorrow's paper. One of our larger papers, 3 different sections in tomorrow's paper, which will include much more detail on the Ray Fairchild story of him being identified and coming home, more on the Colonel Bolin plea earlier this week, and the timeline on previous and recent charges. BitSource, a company which was formed to train out-of-work coal miners at the time to develop websites. Well, they and some McGoffin County students were at City Hall working on the city's app just this week. It's a cute story. It's a good story. Christmas celebration set schedule, because that's where we'll be talking or focusing very, very soon. And on our historical page, we'll go back to not so far, but when you do the math, yeah, it is 1996, and what 4th graders were thankful for, and also a future journalist and some other neat things you're only going to find if you pick up the paper tomorrow. We hope you do so, and don't let it blow away. We'll talk about your weather and hopefully the downhill side of it when I see you back here tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.